Welcome back to Press Review, and let's start by taking a look at today's front pages in the Middle East. The UAE's Khaleej Times is reporting that the Kremlin announced yesterday that President Putin had ordered Russian forces near Ukraine back to their bases, but NATO and the United States said they saw no sign of a pullback and Moscow had failed to carry out such promises before. The paper also reports that Saudi Arabia closed its embassy in Libya's Tripoli and evacuated all its diplomats over security concerns. Saudi Arabia's Arab News leads its front page reporting that King Abdullah had approved a 5-year plan worth more than 80 billion Saudi riyals to overhaul the kingdom's education system. The paper also reports that the kingdom announced a temporary ban on the import of live cattle from Brazil following the discovery of new cases of the foot and mouth disease in one of the country's provinces, according to the Ministry of Agriculture. Iran's Tehran Times reports that President Hassan Rouhani has predicted that Iran's nuclear talks with world powers will eventually reach a conclusion, although there are lots of difficulties in the path of talks. The paper also reports that Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki's electoral bloc won the most seats in parliamentary elections, but he fell short of an overall majority. From Beirut, the Daily Star is reporting that President Michel Suleiman is worried that the election of any Lebanon's 4 key Maronite political leaders could trigger acts of revenge. The paper also reports that the army has dismantled a hand grenade attached to a detonator placed near a gasoline cylinder in Rumeili, a coastal village south of Beirut. And the Egypt Independent is reporting that Mario David, member of European Parliament and head of the EU mission supervising the presidential elections, said that the Egyptian authorities custom cleared all the equipment the mission needs to supervise the elections that are slated for 26th and the 27th of May. The paper also reports that Turkey has charged 3 more people with manslaughter over the country's worst mining disaster, including the CEO of the company operating the pits. And now let's take a look at the top Mideast news from UK papers. The Guardian leads Middle East news reporting that Libya's fragile government faced a spreading armed rebellion on Monday when an air force based in the east of the country joined up with a renegade former general. The paper says fears of a confrontation between rival groups mounted when the commander of the Tobruk airbase announced he was putting it under the command of Khalifa Haftar, a US-linked figure said to have been behind an attack on the parliament in Tripoli. The Independent reports that the parents of Rachel Curry, the 23-year-old American activist who was crushed to death by an Israeli military bulldozer in Gaza, are preparing to launch the final chapter in their 11-year battle for accountability into their daughter's death. The Telegraph reports that Egyptian-born British cleric Abu Hamza is likely to die behind bars in a maximum security US prison after a New York jury on Monday night convicted him of a series of terrorism charges. These charges related to organizing a terrorist camp in the US, hostage-taking in Yemen, and sending one of his followers from London to train with Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. And now let's take a look at the top stories in international papers. The Los Angeles Times reports that assailants shot and killed 3 soldiers Tuesday in a flare of violence less than a week before Egypt's presidential vote. A police officer and 8 other soldiers were hurt in what the Interior Ministry described as a drive-by shooting that took place as security forces were breaking up a demonstration near Cairo's Azhar University. And China's Global Times reports that US troops will take part in a multinational military exercise in Jordan next week in a bid to demonstrate the US commitment to security and stability in the region. This exercise, including flight operations and naval drills, will be carried out at military installations across Jordan and in international waters in the Gulf of Aqaba and the Red Sea. That was it for today. For more updates, please visit Levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow, and bye for now.